race bikes. I love to work on bikes. If you can just imagine doing your hobby for 8 hours a day, that's what I like about engineering.
I tell people I work at Trek. They go, that's nice. What do you do? I'm an engineer. And usually they say something like, well, what do you need an engineer for in a bicycle industry? What do you do?
You can look around, everything that touches your life has got an engineer associated with it.
I think most people feel that engineers are nerds, but that's really not the case.
If someone feels that they have the ability to tinker or the ability to calculate and draw, engineering can be a very rewarding field.
I think the one thing that every engineer did when he was 10 or 11 years old, he probably got in trouble because of his curiosity. Tearing things up in the house and trying to put them back together.
Aerodynamics is a large part of it. It's not a simple thing to put pipe A into connector B and the bicycle comes to be.
I wasn't one of those rocket scientist mathematicians in school. I really enjoyed science. I used to take apart my bicycle and miraculously put it all back together again with no problem.
Engineering is probably as close to a practical inventor that there is.
The wheel was the first invention at the beginning of time, and it seems that it's improved with time. We've got all kinds of composites that we use in our rims, although there's the traditional spoked wheel.
We send a wheel through a robot, and this robot measures how much wobble is in the wheel, and it corrects for that.
Bicycles have been around for a long time, but there's an endless array of ideas to try to make a bicycle faster, how to make the rider more comfortable, how to make them more aerodynamic. In my job as a test engineer, I try to simulate or try to make an experiment that will break frames like I see them breaking out on the field. One of the instruments that I do use a lot is the high cycle fatigue tester. And what we do is we take a bicycle frame and load it onto the fixture with weights that will simulate a rider. And then we excite or just move up and down the front end of the bike, so that it will simulate hitting a log or a curb, or if someone makes a high jump and the frame breaks a certain way, I'll try to simulate that in the lab and not have to take a 10-foot jump or something.
Our job as engineers is to design the best bicycle for the customer.
Some of the things that we try to keep in mind when we sit down and design a bicycle is what the type of person is that will be riding the bicycle. We design bicycles for males, we design bicycles for females. If a 250-pound person is going to get on the bike, they're going to have different requirements than a 120-pound person.
I've been able to make an impact on people, on products, and I feel that I've made a contribution to society as well.
You might go out on a bicycle ride, and people are riding a bicycle that you designed. And you just sort of think to yourself, this person is having so much fun because of the work I did.
Engineering is a mixture of art, creativity, it's imagination, all combined into one.
Engineers work on assembly problems on a daily basis. One of the things that we're facing right now is how do we make bikes of the same quality when we're making hundreds of thousands of them.
The frame itself, I mean, there's a lot of art to it. There's a lot of geometry. There's a lot of elegance. A lot of people come together to make this whole system work, from the people who cut the tubing to the people who actually put the wheels together and who package the bike and send it out. Everybody's working together.
Good engineers have to be persistent. The solution to a problem isn't always in front of you.
Shifting is probably one of the major testing components of an old bicycle. If the bicycle doesn't shift, it doesn't move. Most of the work that I do in the build process is for the assembly, meaning the final stage of the bike as it's assembled in its final form. It's like bring in the toys, put them on the bicycle, go for a ride.
What kind of person makes a good engineer? You really need all different types of people.
One of the most valuable things you learn in getting an engineering degree is how much you can learn.
If I knew what I know now and I were back in junior high school, I would listen more in class. I would be very patient with my progress in mathematics. I would tinker. I would do my homework on time.
I can't think of too many other careers where you can have so much fun at it and still make a good living.
Any place there's a product or there's something that's made, there's an engineer necessary.
There's a lot out there to offer, and you can do a lot with an engineering degree.
You can choose your own destiny.
Yes, you can be an engineer. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it.
Here they come, it's Rod People! 7-Eleven's Rod People! The final race of his career in the 7-Eleven jersey.
There are some fringe benefits to being an engineer.
Engineers are in demand.
Engineering is a lot of fun.
The engineers are the doers.
You can be very creative as an engineer.
I really like engineering, yeah. It's a real neat job.
Engineering is everywhere.
Engineering as a profession is an exciting place to be.